Have you felt lost among so many choices, unsure which path to take? Imagine a way to gain clarity, transforming your decisions, helping you reach your true potential. Carl Jung believed self-knowledge is key. In this video, we'll explore how knowing yourself can change your life, revealing 8 powerful lessons from Jung to help you find your purpose and transform your reality. Whenever you need to make a life decision, whether choosing a career, a job, or going through a personal crisis like a family loss, knowing yourself and your true potential is vital. Your true potential can be realized when you find something you can do incredibly well, with minimal effort. To find your true calling, the path that can help you realize your potential, it's vital to know yourself well, or as Carl Jung put it, to undergo individuation. Individuation is a personality transformation process, bringing parts of your subconscious into your personality, making you whole. Carl Jung was a founder of psychoanalysis, a set of psychological theories and methods aimed at releasing repressed emotions and experiences. He made great contributions to psychiatry, anthropology, archaeology, literature, philosophy, psychology, and religious studies. Some of his most important books are Psychology of the Unconscious, Man and His Symbols, The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious, Modern Man in Search of a Soul, The Psychology of the Transference, Memories, Dreams, Reflections, The Relations Between the Ego and the Unconscious. Jung's mentor was the famous psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud. However, he broke away, founding his own school of psychology called analytical psychology. Analytical psychology focuses on the present, as well as mythology, folklore, and cultural experiences, aiming to integrate human consciousness. A key aspect of this analytical psychology, founded by Jung, is individuation. Jung saw finding oneself and realizing one's potential as a major task in human development. To help you understand how to use Jung's teachings to reach your full potential, today we bring 8 lessons from Carl Jung's philosophy. Don't let others define you. Jung said the world will ask who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. Jung differed from Freud in many ways. One was that he didn't believe all psychological illnesses came from childhood trauma, or that he disagreed with the superego concept, which for Freud is the voice of conscience, the voice of others within us. It's formed in childhood, based on what parents and educators told us about what is good and bad and who we should be. Jung believed that the inner voice demanding we behave in a certain way can have many causes, not limited to biological ones or past events in childhood or adolescence. Jung thought our behavior is also influenced by future aspirations and how we see ourselves. When we lack a realistic, positive view of ourselves and our future, we're weaker, less resistant to others or the environment's aggressions, making us vulnerable to psychological illness. The world constantly demands we be one way or another, sometimes becoming aggressive, testing our limits. We need to lower its voice and raise our own self's voice. From birth, we're somehow forced to copy others, starting even before our school years. If your self is weak, you'll listen, doing what others demand. However, over time, you'll become bitter, full of resentment and regret for not following your own path. Don't try to copy anyone, but first reflect on what you truly value in life. Do you value security or freedom more? Are you more competitive or collaborative? Are you an explorer, or do you feel better following a routine and so on? Don't pretend to be someone you're not. For example, don't force yourself to appear extroverted when you're introverted. This will only harm you long term. You must always question who you truly are, your likes and dislikes, and who you want to be in the future. Only after this introspection will you know what actions to take and how to impose your will on the world, instead of letting the world dominate you with its demands. No matter your age, invest effort in finding your style, voice, behavior, and way of life. To live a good life, You need a life that represents you. Without knowing what makes you unique, you can't know what activities to pursue to reach your true potential. Understand your passions. In Jung's words, a man who hasn't passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As a psychoanalysis founder, Jung understood how vital it is for patients to face subconscious elements, usually repressed desires. For example, sexual desires, desires to harm someone, or to do something embarrassing. Only when we face them can we heal. When we flee what disturbs, discomforts, or scares us, it will haunt us more, affecting our behavior and increasing anxiety. These subconscious elements are often linked to repressed desires or passions. We repress them because they're immoral and unacceptable to society, or because they're overwhelming and we can't handle them. When we have a distant attitude towards life, when we're passive, react slowly to external events, avoid social contacts, we're usually running away from our passions, or in other words, from strong emotions that affect our behavior, especially when repressed. For example, you might have a passion for communicating with others. You might have the potential to become a great public speaker, but you had a childhood trauma. An adult mocked you and your way of speaking when you were a child, and this event made you fear opening up to others and risking embarrassment again. The best way to heal these anxieties and rediscover your real passions is to practice more journaling, analyze your dreams, get to know yourself better, be more tolerant of yourself, make time for the things you really care about. Learn to overcome your fears, step by step. Looking at the example given, you could take some public speaking classes and perhaps discover how talented you are and how your fear was unjustified. Get more in touch with what makes you feel alive and more knowledgeable about the inner workings of your passions. Focus on who you want to be. To quote Jung, "I am not what happened to me, I'm what I choose to become." Although Jung was deeply interested in mythology and even created the concept of the collective unconscious, which is the part of our unconscious common to all humans, profoundly influencing us in many aspects of life without our awareness, he favored a stronger development of our conscious capabilities to decide our own destiny. It's also possible that, precisely because he knew how vulnerable we are to the elements of the unconscious, Jung emphasized the importance of choosing who we want to become and integrating all unconscious elements into that identity, even the components of our immature psyche. For example, some attitudes we acquired in childhood, such as a constant desire for love and attention, or the fear of abandonment. We need to integrate them over time into a functional whole, which is our individuality. This integration process Jung called individuation. What defines us is the ultimate goal we aspire to, this being the functional whole, what we choose to become. Having a goal regarding the person we wish to become is extremely important for the proper functioning of our psyche. If we don't know who we want to become, how we want to represent ourselves to the world, we simply go with the flow. One danger in living your life as it comes, without putting your will to work, without efforts to think when making important life decisions, is that you may find yourself in a situation that completely copies a traumatic episode from your past. When we leave our life to the unconscious driver, it takes us back to something unresolved from early times, and it's usually a negative experience for which we need to find an answer. For example, if you come from a dysfunctional family where you were neglected or perhaps abused, if you just follow your instincts or your heart in choosing your life partner, you risk ending up in a similar type of home, copying the same situation. Following your instincts blindly and not using your reason to make decisions prevents you from making the best decisions in life and realizing your potential. The immature element of the psyche in this example is the fear of abandonment, and this fear makes you seek the same pattern of dysfunctionality. To overcome this fear, you need to have a clear vision of where you really want to go, make a clear and rational plan of how to get there, and move forward, not paying much attention to your doubts and fears. Thus, while focusing on who you want to become, you integrate the components of your immature psyche into this new personality that is no longer afraid. To avoid being a victim of your fears and your past, you need to spend more time with yourself, reflect on your past experiences, think about what they can teach you, understand that they don't define you. What defines you is who you want to become. So decide who you really want to become and strive in real life to be that person. Abandon your addictions. Jung teaches us that every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine or idealism. Addiction is a serious problem, affecting people on many levels, including biological, social, psychological, and even spiritual. Jung encountered many types of patients suffering from addiction. However, he saw some similarities between people with real addictions like alcohol, some compulsive gestures and so on, and people suffering from idealism. Sometimes we fixate on some ideal views of life, avoiding seeing that reality is completely different from this rosy picture. We try to find ways to escape facing the real problems of life, what really hurts us because we don't feel capable of facing these issues. That's why we find refuge in drugs, alcohol, and idealism. To keep our psyche healthy, we need to be in touch with reality, not avoid it. If you don't like being overweight and unsuccessful in life, don't waste your days with narcotics, drugs, alcohol, or idealism, but rather have the courage to face reality. Make a plan to change the situation, apply yourself more aggressively at work, and consistently follow an exercise routine. If you continue to spend your days partially unconscious or stuck in some harmful idealism, you can't get in touch with your real self. You can't think of any solutions to break free from the situation you're in and start developing a plan to change your life, to a life that better reflects yourself and gives you the chance to realize your potential. Be honest about your capabilities. Jung considers that you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. As a psychoanalyst, Jung always saw through his patients. It didn't matter what they pretended to be. We are almost never who we pretend to be. What we do speaks much louder than anything we communicate verbally. The individuation process that Jung wrote about implies aligning your actions with your ideal about yourself. We are born with a self that needs a whole life to fully realize itself. Early in life, we're not even sure who we want to be. Jung considered that the first phase of life is dedicated both to the development of the ego and to personal development, the image we show to the world. However, we also need the second phase, the phase in which we must achieve a complete integration of ourself. In the first phase, you're not even sure who you really are, so you just experiment with different ways of living. When you reach 40, the second phase begins, and you should have a clear idea of who you really want to be, and so you must align all your actions with this image of yourself. Even before this phase, it's always a good practice to keep your word and have a realistic view of your time limits and abilities, and this view must be formed according to your past experiences. If every time you studied for a test only the night before and always got a bad grade, maybe you shouldn't do it next time if you want better grades. Similarly, if your boss asked if you can do this task by tomorrow, don't rush to say yes, especially if you know that you're not really that good in this area and it would be very likely that you'll need the help of another colleague and that this will take much longer than a well-trained expert. If you fail to keep your promises repeatedly, people will stop trusting you, and your words will no longer mean anything to them. It's okay early in life to overpromise and push your limits to accomplish certain things. But there will be a moment in your life when you'll need to draw some conclusions about your limits, and you'll need to align your promises according to these conclusions. In our journey to reach our potential, it's important to face our limits, which can be considered good indicators to change course and make other projects. It's always better to be honest with yourself first and with others about your capabilities. This can help you enormously to find the most appropriate path for you to reach your potential. The more honest you are about what you can do and what you can't, the faster you'll find those activities in which you can excel with minimal effort, and the faster you'll find your way to reaching your potential. Turn your weaknesses into strengths. Jung stated, "I regret many follies which sprang from my obstinacy, but without that trait I would not have reached my goal." In his book, Memories, Dreams, Reflections, Jung reflected on his life and how it might have been different if he were different. He considered himself very obstinate, stubborn, but at the same time recognized that without this stubbornness he would not have achieved as much success in life as he did. In certain respects, any weakness can prove to be a strength if it is exploited in the right direction. Perhaps outside of the professional world, Jung's obstinacy was misplaced, but in professional life it proved to be the best tool for achieving success. As long as you are going through the individuation process, your life will be for you as it should be. Jung believed that we all have a kind of destiny that is strongly linked to our personality, and we should just follow it wherever it takes us. The most important thing is to live in harmony with ourself, which is in a continuous process of realization. Don't criticize yourself for your weaknesses, but think about how they can help you in certain areas of your life. Make a list of all the things you are criticized for and how you can use these bad traits usefully and avoid using them where you shouldn't. For example, let's say you are a very sensitive person, living more in your imagination, and others used to criticize you for your lack of practical skills, saying that you don't even know how to fix a common problem in your home. Instead of fighting with yourself, trying to prove others wrong, and focusing on improving your practical skills, you should direct your focus to your creative side, to your imagination. Perhaps you will discover that there is a great artist living inside you who only needs the right tools to manifest. Maybe you could be a great painter, a musician, or a great writer. It is much better to work around your skills and ensure that they are directed in the right way than to focus on correcting your weaknesses. Find a connection to the infinite as we learn from Jung. The decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? That is the determining question of his life. Although Jung liked to be seen as a man of science, his work has profound metaphysical implications. This is because he could see that many of people's problems could be solved if they could add a metaphysical dimension to their lives. It can be religion or another type of spirituality. When our life is understood in the context of something greater than ourselves, our life gains more meaning and we begin to feel more secure and happier, stronger to face life's problems. Even if you are not religious or particularly spiritual, it is recommended by Jung that you link your existence to something infinite. Maybe you can think about the universe and how everything is connected, coming from the same source, including all humans who have ever existed and will still exist. The effort you put into your work, the kindness you show to the humans around you, can be reinforced by the thought that you are part of this human species and your life matters. You are one of the millions of ways in which our species has evolved and continues to expand. Looking at all the incredible advances of human civilizations, we can be amazed and fascinated, and we can feel grateful to be part of this human civilization. Some people may see the infinite in their faith in God, some in the mysteries of the universe, some may see the infinite in their children, our successors, who will continue to expand human civilization. The infinite can be described as anything that gives you meaning, beyond your time-limited existence. Your connection to this infinite can boost your desire to want to reach your potential here on Earth and make your contribution to human society, whatever your main reason, be it religious, spiritual, or other. Make time for deep reflections. In our last quote from Jung for this video, he says, Jung personally saw solitude as one of the best ways to heal himself, and he even said that solitude makes life worth living. To find happiness and realize our potential, we need to live in harmony with our inner demands. And solitude is the best occasion to find out what these inner demands are. This is especially true when you face difficulties in life and feel helpless. You should withdraw to reflect on what can give meaning to your life, what can support you emotionally, and what steps you should take next to realize your true potential. Perhaps a walk by the lake can make you understand that the beauty of life does not depend on how many dollars you have in your wallet or how many titles you hold, but on the happiness and the state of peace you feel when you have most of your affairs in order. When you perform in life the activities that make you feel happy and fulfilled, helping you realize your potential. Think about what activities make you happy. Don't hold back. Imagine that money is not an issue. What really makes you happy? Identify that and you are free to stop and think, to find ways to focus your energy on those activities that help you realize your potential. Realizing your potential is a journey, and solitude can provide moments of reflection that can help you assess how far along you are on this journey and what you must do to move further. In conclusion, we can say that the process of self-knowledge, as described by Carl Jung, is a journey that profoundly transforms our lives. By understanding who we really are, our fears, desires, and potentials, we can make more conscious decisions, build more authentic relationships, and find a purpose that resonates with our true essence. Jung reminds us that we are responsible for shaping our own destiny, and that the integration of all parts of ourselves is the path to a full and meaningful life. Remember, self-knowledge is not a destination, but an ongoing process of discovery. We hope that the lessons from Jung presented in this video can help you take firm steps on this journey, finding clarity, strength, and above all, a deep sense of fulfillment. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.